mega prizes next Saturday. But today it's going to be a grand track. It's going to be quite an exotic track that we're taking you to, and you will be quite amazed. Before that, let's take a quick look at the EP9 qualifier team standings. The same teams are competing as the last time: Atomic, Berettas, Mac 1, and Wildcard team. So these were the qualifying times in that timing order. Atomic was 391.319. Berettas was 399.35. Mac 1 came in third at 435.203. And finally, wildcard team. The three pilots had qualified for the wildcard were Napster, Jesh, and Propfosh at 535.083 group timing. Let's also take a quick look at the semi-final group number one. That's going to go first. We're going to have the same format that we have been following so far, the team format, and let's see what's on the plate for us with semi-final group number one. But before that, if everything is going clear, just let us know in the chat box so that you are receiving the video and audio quite well from our end. If there are any snags, do let us know in the chat window. And let's take a look at semi-final number one. We have the first draw between Devnath and Bangos, Atomic, Mac 1, Monster Rex, the same draw between the two teams. Next is Nishant and NJ, and then all the six pilots, with the winning team's winning team getting all the 3 points. And we will take a look at semi-final group number two when we are ready for that. But for now, let's get started at the pit area. Let's get to the fantastic track, an exotic track. This is called Atlantics, and it's going to be blowing you away. Let's take you right there in the action right now. So that's where we are. The pilots already blowing the quads away. And you can see Nishant FPV. We're covering him in FPV view. And look at the colors of that track. What a beautiful, beautiful track this is for all of us to enjoy today. It's quite fantastic. The moon is shining right there in the dark sky. And you can see from the point of view of other pilots, the pilots are ready to go at the moment. And when they are ready, we will be starting in less than 5. So do give me a thumbs up, guys, whenever you are ready to when you guys are ready, and let's get going with the first round of this first semi-final. And let's just take a look at the side view over here. You can see through the different camera angles that we have for you. And we'll try to cover more and more camera angles over here as we go through the track with the pilots. You'll see a better view as we get started with the race. Let's switch back to the FPV view. It's a thrilling track, and meanwhile, until the episode gets started, you can see how the pilots are doing this track. It's quite a tough track. It's also a long track, but a unique set of elements. Okay, let's go, guys. At the count of less than 5. There you go. Round one is starting right now. We are seeing through the eyes of Bangos out here. And Bangos takes off, following the other pilots. Look at that. In good sequence out here, taking out each other on that triangle, coming down on the ladder in the swift way, and then going on top of that tower. That's excellently done by Bangos. No mistakes whatsoever. This has taken quite a good amount of practice for sure. It's quite a difficult track otherwise to get it perfect. But quite a bit of elements out here. It's approximately about 1 minute and 30 seconds long. That's what the average time that we are getting so far from the pilots. And meanwhile, let's see, Bangos is leading the pack right now, and Devnath is right behind him. Let's take a look at some of the other pilots. Devnath is going to possibly try and chase out here Bangos. He's right behind him, and Devnath can come back from spot number 2 at any given point in time. Nishant at spot number 3. Let's take a look at how it looks from different angles out here. We are seeing Bangos out there, and let's try to zoom in a little bit out here, trying to follow Bangos in that white quad out there, and Devnath is right behind him. You can see that how the quads are following each other. A beautiful spot to look to, and they are right neck and neck to each other. Bangos and Devnath. What a draw this is! And Devnath comes ahead at this point, taking out Bangos in the uh, first space. And Bangos again coming back. He's not going anywhere, leaving Devnath. This is such a thrilling competition. We are right tuned in the Bangos's view out here. And the side view, Devnath is still leading. Let's take a look at Devnath. Let's follow him right now. Nishant and other pilots also following up, and Shady also there, but Shady is not competing. But let's see Devnath right now. Devnath in the pack right now. He's it's straight ahead of Bangos in the first lap, and anything can happen right now at the last third lap. This is anybody's game between Bangos and Devnath out here. What a fabulous track! What a fabulous and what a fabulous run by Devnath. He is the first to finish and nearly getting the first spot, Bangos, but landing in the second place and with 2 minutes 11 seconds. Nevertheless, we will cover the other pilots out here because that competition is also going to be important. 3 points are going to be very, very critical for each of the team out here. And Nishant is quite ahead of the pack right now. With the rest of the pilots, he has also completed. So the only pilots remaining right now are Rex, NJ, and Monster FPV. So look at that. Rex is doing fantastic out there. He seems to be quite in stable control, but the speed he's trying to get, he's not really happy with that, but he'll nevertheless complete that track. NJ also in that white trail out there with the drone, and let's see where Monster is up to. I think he was caught up at lap 3, gate number 6, Monster. So that is the leaderboard for you guys. Devnath won it in this first round, 2 minutes 9 seconds. Closely behind him was Bangos at just 2 seconds behind. Shant was at approximately 29 seconds behind him. Rex at 17 seconds behind him, and then NJ at about 8 seconds behind him. So that was the story so far. What a competition! Let's go ahead with round number 2 straight up, and let's try to see who can we cover at this point in time. Next year is just practicing, and we will now stay a little bit calm till the next round is set up. Meanwhile, you can enjoy this gorgeous view. Look at that exotic track from any point of view. This is one of the greatest tracks that we have ever experienced on the simulator. So let's go, guys. Whenever you are ready, at the count of less than 5, some testing is going on, looks like, and we'll have to wait a little bit more. I know all the viewers are clinged to this racing that's happening, but just a few seconds till the next round starts coming up to you. Meanwhile, you can enjoy that view from that. Look at that, the entire tunnel that is curved is coming right in front of you. It looks like some kind of a Star Wars land out here, and it's all those lightsabers out there. And I think it's themed according to that as well, and it's called Quadlantis, uh, after Atlantis, the lost island under the sea. And this was one of the discoveries that we got after finding some of the very, very competitive tracks, and this came out on top for us. Very, very competitive this one. Boys have practiced very hard on this one, and look at that. The speed that Devnath is getting is of amazing speed out there. So, what are we waiting? Can somebody give us an update? So, we are waiting for Monster. We're just waiting for Monster. Let's take a look at some of the other pilots. We have covered Bangos. NJ is another great pilot. He is improving his speed and his pass through the gates out here. He has been officially competing at very, very close spaces behind some of the top racers out here. And Nishant also has very, very improved his game. But he will try to get in those first two spots. He was before this in spot number 3, so he will be looking to gain some momentum in this round number 2 that's coming up right now. We're still waiting for Monster. Some technical issue going on with Monster. But meanwhile, thank you again, viewers, for joining us across the globe. We are streaming live from our Mumbai headquarters at IDRL simulator series, IDRL Stay at Home. This is season one, episode number 9. And the season one is going to end in the next episode on the next Saturday night live. So catch us on the next Saturday for the grand finale of season one. Let's go, guys. Whenever you guys are ready at the count of less than 5, here are the boys taking off. We are viewing the side from the side of NJ, and NJ is going to be quick behind the pilots too, and he's going to be very, very competitive. Let's switch our views to let's say Monster, because Monster is also in the game right now. He's actually at spot number 2, but he's now overtaken by Bangos, so he'll not be that quite happy. Look at that, Bangos is right in front of him out there, and they're now going through that triangle tunnel. Now coming back into that another series of lightsabers out there. Some of the other triangles going on around that curve, and then the slight slatters out there, and then going down the towers out there. Bungos Monster is chasing him right through the track. And whose game is it going to be? Bungos or Monster out here? Anybody's game again. Coming back, lap number 1 is over for Bungos and Monster. But let's take a look at now Rex out here. Rex is at spot number 4. He'll be following closely behind Nishant. Nishant is at lap number and gate number 30 and spot number 3. So Rex is looking really, really competitive out here as well as some of the other pilots. Let's go to the top board leader out here with Devnath. Devnath's view is always very fantastic. Much pilot. He's going through that slight triangle out there very, very fast. And absolutely, it's kind of a game mechanics out here, muscle memory out here almost. And a very smooth drive now with Devnath. His chances are getting more and more closer to even win this lap, round number 2, while Bangos is chasing him. But this time, let's see what's happening at the scene through the side view. And we will try to switch to some of the pilots out here. Let's see, let's switch on to Bangos, because Bangos is about 22 gates away. Devnath has nearly reached the start gate. Who is behind Bangos? Nishant is about 11 gates away. But from Mach 1, Bangos is leading the pack at point number 2 out here, and he'll be soon completing his share of the laps, as well as he as completes the lap number 3 very, very soon out there. Let's switch our views now to Nishant, who is at spot number 3. We're going in quite that order at 1, 2, 3 in terms of the viewing the pilots. Nobody near Nishant at the moment. Behind him, Rex is the only one, but he's about 8 to 9 gates away. That's but he's closing the gap also right now. A slight lead, but Nishant has completed his part. Rex is now coming in out there with 2 gates ahead of NJ, and this is a very, very close battle between Rex and NJ. So, but Rex has taken the lead out here, and NJ has also finished. And disappointingly, once again, the monster who was coming very, very good at spot number 2 hasn't really taken it to the end out here. So the draw we have in front of you is Devnath setting the time and the competition board out here with 2 minutes exactly, with some few milliseconds. Bangos coming in 15 seconds late. He was ought to be a little closer. He'll have to close the gap a little bit more in round number 3. Nishant about 15 seconds away, Rex at about 11 seconds away behind him, and NJ again coming in at spot number 5. So after that story out there, let's go ahead with round number 3 now with the pilots. And we are coming back into the pit area. Let's see what's going to happen this time around. Round 3 is going to be very, very important, because semi-final is going to be dependent upon this. All the points that are going to be cumulatively added, and then either of these teams, that is Atomic or Mach 1, are going to compete and are going to qualify into the finals, taking on either team consistency, that is Berettas right now, or the team Wildcard. Wildcard is also looking pretty good. Uh, so let's see what will happen in that case. So let's go ahead, guys. Let's waste no more time. Let's go at the count of 5. We have round number 3 out here now. Very Okay, it's round number two, semi-final two out here. We have some technical issues last time, so this is still semi-final number two. After this, there'll be one more semi-final, and then there'll be one large semi-final. So Napster's view is quite good. Oh, this was not officially started. We are still there was some technical difficulties. Difficulties happen when you are flying a lot of pilots together. But once we are all set from the semi-final group one, hopefully everything will be going without any snags out there. If all of you have any comments, do put your comments in the chat box below out here, right below the race directors window. And hope you're having a fantastic night out there so far. This is IDRL Stay at Home Season 1, Episode number 9 again. We are streaming across the world. Semi-final 1 has just started and round number 1 has just ended. There was some technical issues in the second round, so we're redoing semi-final number 2. There'll be two more rounds, semi-final round number 3, and then the group that's flying going to fly together. And after that, we're going to do semi-final number 2. The four competing teams. Also, to let us know which team you're backing right now, right below in this chat window. We'll be hearing your comments and then announcing your names. Do remind me last time that I did not take out the names of some of you who had guessed correctly. Some of the things that happened in a hurry, but do remind me at the end of the race to congratulate you if you get it right. So, are we still waiting for Monster? Okay, we're still waiting for Monster out here. Let's take a look at some of the other pilots. Prop Wash out there practicing his wings. Um, some of these other pilots are actually in the other stage. So not sure which of the pilots are flying right now, but all of these are competing and practicing right now before they take on round number. Uh, so what's the problem with Monster? Okay, okay, got it. Okay. So, so far the points that you can see on the screen so far, two rounds was over. I got it a little wrong out here. Group number two is now going because of some technical issues with group number one. So, Devnath won that one in the first heat out there uh, consecutively. And then we have Rex who won it consecutively for Pack 1. And then we have for Atomic also Nishant who won it twice. So at this point, Team Atomic is in the lead, in stage number one, and let's see what's happening out there with group number two. Let's see who are in group number two at this point in time. Group number two consists of um, Berettas and Wildcard. So Shady is going on head on head with Napster in the first heat, and then we're going to do logic and chess. So the pilot logic is having some issues right now. I'm sorry for the confusion. This is where we start now. Semi-final group number two, round number one. Logic is having some issues, so we are going to just wait for him a little bit more until we get it started. In the meantime, do take your time to get yourself all prepared. If you are, have any kind of drinks and all those things, take your laptops and everything and be cool. So, group number two will be out there in just a couple of minutes. Take back to the pit area for the pilots who are practicing at the moment. This Napster out there that's flying, and Napster is from the wildcard team. Okay, and we are back with Logic now. Logic. Okay, are we back? Okay, Logic has just joined the session, so we are back, guys. Let's start this as soon as possible. Yes, there we go. And there you go. The round number one starts of semi-final group stage number two. Napster taking on the lead over here, going behind Shady out there. Uh, and let's see where the pilots are at the moment. Yes, Shady in the lead with spot number one. Let's follow Shady because he is a wonderful pilot to watch all the time. Look at the speed that he's rounding towards. Through that tunnel, coming into that triangle, coming back into those lightsaber array of triangles and squares, and going back into those triangles out there, Shady. This is a futuristic land called as Atlantis that he's traversing right now, and that triangle ladder being done quite smoothly as well. So Shady should not have any problems. Meanwhile, let's see where Napster is. Let's take a look at the side view of these pilots. So Napster is out there right now. Let's also invert and take the camera to some of the other views out here so that you can have a better view of the track. This is how the pilots are actually flying out there. And the wildcard team is doing pretty well right now at spots number second, third, and fourth. Napster and then Chesh and then Prop Wash, FPV, all of them are doing pretty well right now. So let's see what's going to happen with 25 milliwatts, because 25 milliwatts might gain some lead. He's about two gates behind just the pilot in front of him and Prop Wash. He's just look at that. Prop Wash is trying to nail it down, and he's overtaken Prop Wash right now, and he's back at spot number four. So we'll wait for him, and we'll wait to see what happens to him. But in the meantime, Napster is closing in with lap number three. He will be at near Shady, but nowhere before Shady completes the race. So let's follow 25 milliwatts because he's covering very quick ground, as we said before. 25 milliwatts coming back from all the way from position number five into position number three. So what a pilot this is, 25 milliwatts. He's already looking so good, and he's got the hang of the track, looks like. And he is now really covering fast ground out here. Even he might overtake Napster, who is in front of him, if all goes well out there. But Napster is having a little bit of an edge. So let's move towards Napster out here. Let's see if 25 was the red trail comes in behind towards Napster and overtakes him. But Napster is looking strong, at least about 13 gates away right now, more than that a little bit. And he's now coming down into that ladder, coming into that tower area around the stones. And the caves. This is a pretty interesting track. Some of these elements are stone hedge kind of elements, and some of the elements are combined with futuristic elements. So very, very interesting to watch this track. And Chesh also is closing in. Look at the competition between these two pilots out here, Chesh and Prop FPV, Prop Wash FPV. These two pilots are from the same team, but they want to prove that they are nowhere uh, behind each other. Both of them trying to get their hang on it. 25 milliwatts has completed at third. Fourth space is taken by Prop Wash. Last space was taken by Logic, unfortunately. Logic having some issues. So this was a draw. Shady quickly completing it, just about 3 seconds away from Devnath's best timing, 2 minutes 3 seconds. Napster 2 minutes 50 seconds. 25 milliwatts at 3 minutes 05, quite away from Napster, and then Prop Wash and Chesh completing in close by to 25 milliwatts. So that was a story. Let's go with the next one, guys. Whenever you guys are ready at the count of less than five. Thank you again for joining us on Facebook and YouTube. We are live streaming across the globe out here to our friends and other organizations and partners across the world. Again, we thank some of the sponsors out here: One Martian Wave, Velocidrone, Team Black Sheep, ZDR, and quadcopters.com. Right now, the practice session is going on until which is trying to communicate which set of pilots are going to go next. It all depends upon their preparedness. Guys, can we start? So it looks like Logic has some issues and also Monsters. Both these semi-final group number 1 and 2 pilots are not available at this point in time. So either we're trying to figure out something so that we can keep the track and the competition going. What's the final call out here? We have to go quick. Semi-final group one. Okay. So we're going with semi-final group number 1 pilots now. So let's get all the semi-final group number 1 pilots now. This will be round number 3 for those pilots. Group number 2 pilots, please stop flying. We are doing semi-final group number 1. Viewers, how beautiful of a night this is. The track, look at that. If you have ever seen a more beautiful track than this, do let us know. We can take a look at that as well. And if you have some suggestions for the next tracks to come, then we will take that into consideration as well. So group number 1 pilots are now flowing in round number 3, as group number 2 Logic was not available. And there we have NG at spot number 4 right now. Let's chase the leader out here, Devnath, going through that curvy tunnel out here into that triangle tunnel, straight into some of the inverted gates out there, and then another triangle sequence. It's very brightly lit, and that might cause a little bit of bright spots on the pilots they're flying. But looks like they have got a hang of that light situation. Not a problem for them because it's all lit up in such a gorgeous fashion. I've never seen so many lights on a track, on a night track. In fact, that whole round that you're seeing in front of you is looks like a merry-go-round, and it looks like Christmas time out there. So it's fun to fly. It's a beautiful track, and Devnath, look at that. The pilot. Let's see him from the other view out there. Monster at spot number 4. Let's try to see who is going to cover Devnath. So Devnath, and we'll switch the cameras a little bit so that we are covering him a little bit more properly. And there you go. We are following Devnath at the moment through the side view. And Devnath, absolutely no problems as usual, unless he crashes. They're about still 25 gates away, Devnath, from his track completion right now. But then we have Bangos at the second spot, and Bangos has been falling away from Devnath. Devnath seems to have been doing increasingly well, and Bangos seems to have been sliding behind Devnath. So he'll have to really pick up speed out here if he has to get competitive, and if he has to get Mac 1 into the finals. It all depends upon Bangos. So there's a lot of pressure on Bangos at the moment. I think he's also the team captain out there. And also we have Nishant now. Nishant is closely following Bangos. So this is an interesting competition between Nishant and Bangos. What a pilot Nishant has been. And he has improved such a big time. And then we have NJ out also. And he will be also completing very, very soon. So will be Rex in. I think he changed his name or call sign, but he's still Rexy FVP for us. And then we have Monster finally come, and he hasn't made it past gate number 46 of lap number 2. So we'll call it a sequence end once Rex completes his sequence out there with the 54th gate. And then we have Devnath at 2 minutes, again trying to beat his own timing. Bangos 18 seconds away, close the gap a little bit. This time Nishant 2 minutes 20 seconds, NJ and Rex following them, following Nishant closely again. They will be wanting to get a little bit closer. Now the final round coming in for group stage pilot number 1. Let's go pilots whenever you guys are ready. So let's. So are we? Yeah, round three is done. So what are we doing now? Yeah, finals. Oh, yeah, group number one finals. Let's go, please. Group number one. All the pilots are have to be ready always, not snag out because it takes a little bit of a time, and that loses the concentration of the viewers also who are clinged into this race. And at the count of less than five, we are following the last round now. Nishant, FPV. Again, this is going to be quite a series. This is the second series in the prize money draw. The next one is going to be the season one grand finale, and at the end of it, uh, top three teams are going to win the grand prizes that have been kept for them, along with some of the X memberships given away for 1 year. Nishant, we are following right now, and he is very close. He's looking pretty competitive. I mean, he has greatly improved his performance, and he's even overtaken Bangos at the moment because Bangos has usually chased Devnath. So I mean, let's take a look at Nishant right away. Let's not lose him because Nishant looks in very good flow out here, and Nishant. Oh, looks like we did not have Rex joining this. Looks like there was another snag for Rex to join. He could not take the flight. So we'll have to redo for Rex. Okay, so we're continuing. Okay, so we are continuing. That's the call. Nishant now coming in behind Devnath out there. Devnath is flying and simultaneously chatting at the same time. What a split concentration he has. He can do pretty well in both directions out there. So amazing pilot. You can see his game mechanics. Let's follow him at the moment, Devnath. Nishant is following closely behind Devnath. That's Devnath for you. Devnath is treating this as a fairyland for him. He's enjoying this track. Absolutely. Atlantis has been one of his top tracks out there. And he set some of the best qualifier timings also. He set, I think, 1 minute 13 seconds. And Nishant almost was right behind him. So he will be completing his second. And then we have NJ, who is about 14 gates away to the destination. And then we have Bangos. So this will be interesting between Bangos and NJ from the same team. However, but they are about a lap away. So NG is clearly in the he has taken spot number three, and Pangos, let's see where he is. And Pangos and Monster and Rex are all disconnected. So nevertheless, we have the board for you. 2 minutes 5 seconds. Nishant at 2 minutes 14 seconds, and NG at 2 minutes 34. So I think Atomic Team Atomic qualifies into the final. But nevertheless, let's take a look at that spreadsheet and timing sheet for you. Just confirm once again. So if people get disconnected in between, cannot we cannot help it. That's their internet connection issue, and we cannot give them another try. But this was the round, and looks like Atomic is clearly leading that pack, and Atomic has qualified into the yeah. Team Atomic has qualified. Look at that, Atomic and then Mac One, and so Atomic is already into the finals. And between Atomic and either Berettas or Wildcard, that will be the final. So we are waiting for the next two rounds, next three rounds from semi-final group number two. Pilots, are you ready to go? Is group two available out here? Okay, let's go ahead, guys, quickly. Let's get ahead. The count of less than five, following through the eyes of chess. This is the round number three coming in for a semi-final group number two pilots. Wonderful, wonderful view. Chesh, wow, look at that multicolored trails out there, climbing the towers, coming down into that triangle tower. And then Chesh, who has been one of the very, very improving pilots from Bangalore. And what an amazing pilot. Logic is in spot number two. Logic was disconnected several times, but he's looking to get back in competition for his team out here. Winning this semifinals is going to be critical for them to enter the final round. This is one of the decider rounds out here. So Logic is doing his best. Let's take a look from the side view. What's happening with Shady? Shady clearly is dominating the pack as usual with semi-final group number two. We saw him also doing pretty well in that last episode that we had on the coastal, bridges that we had for you. And Shady and Logic about 10 gates away. Shady taking the lead. Let's see which competition is better. Napster and Chesh is some competition happening right now between Napster and Chesh, but Napster has slowly gathered form out here, and Chesh is falling behind. So between Chesh and Prop Wash, actually, or Chesh and 25 milliwatts. So let's turn our attention to them. And 25 milliwatts and Chesh are pretty close right now. Uh, about and Prop Wash now coming into that lead and overtaking at spot number five. So between 25 milliwatts and Prop Wash, it's hardly about a gates difference. So you can see Prop Wash following 25 milliwatts right there, the two pilots, green and red trails. And something happened, 25 milliwatts crashed out there, and Prop Wash has taken full opportunity of that situation and taken himself into position number four. Let's see if he continues to climb the ladder and continues to gain momentum, as we should expect for him to continue to take spot number three. But Logic, let's follow Logic. He's completed well. He's completed spot number two, and then let's see what happening with Prop Wash. Prop Wash is ahead of 25 milliwatts, but look at that 25 milliwatts coming behind him as quickly as possible, that he can fly the drone in, and six gates away still. So we'll switch our attention to 25 milliwatts, struggling a little bit, following a gate away now again from Prop Wash. And Chesh is somehow stuck at gate number 49, but he's taken back form again and he should enter gate lap number three. So all of these fourth, fifth, and sixth pilots now are lap number three. But amongst these, Prop Watch is the one who is going to finish first. So let's take our attention to 25 milliwatts. Take a good view at this pilot from some of the other angles also. We can cover good ground from all the possible angles out here. This is camera number three. This is camera number zero, which is a more horizontal camera, and camera number three was a more top view camera. So that's the end of this round, and we have Shady at 2 minutes 5 seconds, and then we have Logic at 2 minutes 14 seconds, Napster at 2 minutes 56, Prop Wash at 3 minutes 8 seconds, and finally 25 milliwatts 3 minutes and 21. And Chesh unfortunately stuck at that and still planning to complete. But that's the end of this round. Round number two is done. Let's go pilots with the next one. So we are just updating our scorecard also. Round number two is over, or semi-final group stage number two. Before we head into group stage number three, we're going to take a little bit of a pause so that all the pilots are ready. Okay, 25 milliwatts is back in. Let's go pilots. Semi-final group number, round number three is now on. This is going to be the decider one before the final semi-finals. Very very critical round out here. I think Shady's team is in the lead at the moment. That's what I'm guessing. So wildcard team has to really snap in from behind out here, and Napster is going to take the lead. It's like that's the pilot that we are following at the moment. But he's struggling a little bit with his own co-pilot, and Logic has taken lead out here. So it's a pretty interesting scene out here between Logic and Napster, and Logic is right at spot number two. He's taken right away from fourth. He was the climbed spot number three, and then eventually right now at spot number two. So a quick climber, Logic, the boy from Aurangabad, and he's done pretty well out here. He wasn't really in that shape and form today because of some technical reasons, but he'll prove all his mettle in this round and contribute significantly to his team Berettas. He wants to be a good contributor, wants to keep gaining that momentum and the confidence all the way until the finals. So it's going to be Napster looks like the third spot. He's falling a little bit away now. Logic extending his lead at spot number two. So Napster going about 14 gates behind now, and Chesh. So it's between Chesh and Napster. Napster is about 6 gates away. Let's see, Prop Wash and 25 milliwatts are exchanging positions out there at spot number fifth and sixth. They are at the same gate, and then we'll keep our attention fixed on Napster because he is the one at spot number three at the moment. But let's see what's happening with Prop Wash out there. Prop Wash and 25 milliwatts. That's a close competition to watch for spot number five. And this is all about one pilot taking on the other. So it doesn't matter if you're fifth or sixth or third, it doesn't matter until you're beating the other pilot from the other team, you're gaining points for your team. That's the whole point of this team format. So each of these pilots are playing their role, so viewers have to keep that in mind. It's not just about the top three or the top four. All of these pilots actually matter, uh, irrespective of their positions. So Chesh and Napster, Chesh and Propwash. Look at that. Those two pilots from the same team, and Propwash and Chesh. So right now, Propwash has taken a little lead in spot number four. Let's try to cover him from a better angle out there. You can see him covering that ferry track out there below the tunnel, going all the way into some of the lightsabers out there, and then he'll cover some of the triangles again as he completes his round into the start gate. Right now, 25 milliwatts, where he is right now. Let's see. Yeah, he's about 11 gates behind Prop Wash, and 25 milliwatts would not be really happy with his performance, but nevertheless, all he has to do is really stick to that spot number fifth so he can contribute a point or two towards his team. And Prop Wash getting that spot, and third and fourth spot really taken by Wildcard team. So Wildcard is done really well out here, and the top two spots are taken by the champions, Shady and Logic. So all six pilots have done. Shady again, it's 2 minutes for him. Logic at 2 minutes 21 seconds. Napster at 2 minutes 52 seconds. Prop Wash at 3 minutes 11 seconds. 25 milliwatts at 3 minutes 19 seconds, and Chesh at 3 minutes 29 seconds. That's the story from round number three. So let's take off once again, pilots. The last round coming up. Let's see how these pilots are taking off. Look at that. All the six pilots taking on simultaneously. We have now switched completely through the 3D view so that this is going to be the finals of the semifinals. The last round, I mean, of the semifinals. This is going to be the ultimate if pilots have to take all their chances right now to compete into the finals, get their team in. Right now, Team Berettas is getting all the first three spots out there. 25 milliwatts is chasing his own pilot out there. So is Logic behind Shady. Logic is right in the lead out here, not fearing anybody out there, just moving with his own style and momentum as he usually always does. So we are very happy with what Logic has performed today, and Shady is also doing pretty well. 25 milliwatts will be entering lap two, but he's falling a little behind Logic. So 25 milliwatts just needs to pick up a little bit of a pace. And then we have Napster out there from the wildcard team. So it's equally distributed out there, 1 to 3 spots, but it's going to be dangerous if 1 to 3 spots is going to be maintained by Berettas. They have a clear lead and then qualification into the finals if they win that. So somebody has to dismantle Shady from the top if they have to really have their chance into the finals from the wildcard team. Maybe Napster comes back. I don't know. Napster might really push it hard. He has to give all his best. He has to topple Shady at the top. But that right now seems a little unlikely as Shady takes such a little bit of a lead. But Napster is really gaining momentum right now. I mean, he is virtually very close to Logic. So let's switch our views to Logic, who is at spot number two. Let's see what's happening with his end out here. And he's right now in that ferry wheel downstairs in the tunnel. We will catching him again. And Shady, there was Shady is a pilot worth to watch, but he has already completed the track. Napster, we are following once again at lap number 3, gate number 14, and then we have 25 milliwatts out there with lap number 3, gate number 4. So 25 milliwatts, prop wash, and Chesh, these are all close pilots. So interesting competition might happen between 25 milliwatts and prop wash. We are trying to focus our cameras on 25 milliwatts and prop wash at the moment because they are about 4 gates away. 25 milliwatts covering again that ferry wheel. uh, very very challenging this track is, but a lot of fun as well. If you have practiced well, you will have a lot of fun. Practice rounds might have had a lot of crashes, but in such a beautiful track, it's always enjoyable to fly. So that's what we're seeing. All the 25 milliwatts effort is now going into getting him as close as possible to the final gate as soon as possible. And let's see if we can cover prop wash and chess. We're going to finish at fifth and sixth. So prop wash and chess. Anybody's game out there for position number fifth, and it is wow. It's a very very close competition. Chess has just taken it at the last moment. Wow, he came back from behind. So very well done from Chess, but looks like that wouldn't matter much as Shady from Team Berettas gathers those 3 points and collects it in the box for Team Berettas. We will take a look now at the score sheet for you once again, and let's see what has happened for semi-final group number stage 2 out there. And Beretta's Shady, all 3 wins and on number 1 and 2 and 3, and also captured the top spot for his team Beretta's, naturally taking Team Beretta's into the finals. Logic contributing in the final 2 rounds, had a snag in the first one. Chesh trying his best, also won 1 round for his team. And Prop Wash did all his best for Team Wildcard as well. So it was very interesting to watch, but unfortunately, just toppled over by Berettas out there. So from the semi-final leaderboard, we have Atomic and Berettas who have really at the same points out there, who have qualified into the finals at 8 points each, and teams that didn't make it were at 3 points each. So we'll be starting the finals very soon on the heels of this completion of the semi-finals. Let's now take a look at the draw from the finals because that's going to be an important one to announce. Let's take a look at the finals one. Devnath going on head. The team pilots once again. This is going to be so interesting. Always so interesting for our pilots out there. Atomic and Beretta's captains going head to head. Heat 2 is going to see Monster and Logic. They're also very, very competitive. We saw them at the coastal area, the cargo area where Logic came back from behind and defeated Monster. So watch out for Monster and Logic. And also Nishant and 25 milliwatts. Nishant has been a very, very quick pilot. He's going to be a very, very tough competition for Team Berettas. So watch out for these pilots, and Heat 4 will be all the 6 pilots coming in together. Let's now go back to the pit area and start the finals whenever these pilots are ready. Boys, give me a thumbs up whenever you are ready to go. Pilots are ready. There's a little bit of technical issue. That's what I'm hearing at the moment, but should be able to fix that. So who is not there? So what happened to Monster? Can we not bring him back? Okay, right. Yeah, that would be the right choice because we have to do the finals. So Monster at PB from team Atomic has crashed his laptop and is out of the competition, and so that gives one spot away for Atomic. There's no way for them to win. So what we have done is that Beretta's team will also be dropping one of their players if this has to be a fair final. So that's what we'll be witnessing. So, what is the call on Team Beretta's? Which player has been dropped? Okay, so it's going to be Shady Logic, Devnath, and Nishant. You said. Okay. Okay, let's go, pilots. Let's go with whatever we have right now. Need to start this. The count of less than five. Here we go. There we go. We're seeing the eyes through the eyes of logic, and Shady and Devnath are the ones to watch. So always let's turn our attention right to them in that camera number zero. With look at that, Devnath having a little bit of a mess, and that gives a Shady and logic to come back from behind. So Devnath is trying to come back up here. We'll be really watching him. Stay tuned to this camera. But let's see if we can switch a little bit of a view quickly to Logic, and let's see if Devnath catches up to him because Logic is in spot number two at the moment. They are nearly completing lap number one. Shady has already entered lap number two. But look at that, Devnath and Logic out there head to head. What a close competition this is. Devnath and Logic. Devnath right behind him, following Logic. Wow, what an amazing a second and third spot competition this is. This is going to be quite a turnaround if Logic maintains his position, but they are at the same gate. Look at that. We'll try to take a look from another angle. This is going to be the top view angle. And do let us know, viewers, what angle do you prefer? This is camera number two, and we'll show you camera number three also. And we're trying to see and trying to track all of these drones out there. But between Logic and Devnath is the most interesting competition. Oh wow! And Logic fell a little bit behind, and Devnath got a chance. And Devnath took over, and Devnath is now in the lead. And Logic is now competing right behind him. So let's switch our angles to Devnath, and Devnath is passing around right now like the pilot he always is, and now coming behind, and from behind is coming back to Shady as well, and he's about just three gates away to Shady. Can he come back all the way to spot number one? And Devnath is looking so good. He's from spot number three nearly climbing up to spot number one. Let's see what happens out there. Logic is, you can see, closely behind him at just one gate away. Look at that Logic coming also. Logic is so unbeatable, but look at that millisecond difference between them, about 500 milliseconds difference between Devnath and Logic. And look at that amazing competition that happened. Shady took it off 2 minutes, didn't have any competition, but then Devnath and Logic, we had so much fun out there. They were about 500 milliseconds away, less than that probably. So this was the most amazing of this episode that we witnessed so far. It's going to be another round number two coming up. Pilots, quickly, let's go. Let's go, pilots, whenever you're ready. There you see all the pilots taking off from that podium in the third person view. Wow, looking so nice out there. Now Devnath and Shady out there. We'll be following. Look at that. Trying to cover Shady out there, and Shady and Devnath. Wow, what a competition. It's going so quick. It's so difficult to follow some of these pilots. It's so exciting. People are on the edge of their seats. Guys, get some popcorn, get some coffee. You will be needing some caffeine out here because this is going to be really the thrill of the competition of this episode between Shady and Devnath. One gate away. That is Shady in front of you. Devnath coming back behind him, and Devnath could gain momentum anytime and come behind. And Shady, this is such a close race. Wow, look at that at equal gate footages, nearly equal. And Shady took it off a little bit. But Devnath can cover behind Shady is right now about six gates up, and Devnath, although he had a little bit of a snag, he can come back from any moment in time. We keep our cameras on Shady right now and try to see if Devnath comes back. But let's see if we can chase Devnath. Yeah, Devnath is out there. Let's see if it is about 7 gates away. There was such a close competition for the initial lap. Wow, that was amazing. It was really amazing between Devnath and Shady. But this time, if oh, and Devnath is doing pretty well. Devnath is covering quick ground now, and Devnath would be getting about so close now. He's about 6 gates away. Shady snagging a little bit. He might be slacking on that lap number 3. This might give an opportunity to Devnath to come back right from behind out there with all the 5 gates behind him, just behind the Shady. And let's see what magic Devnath brings out here. He's just about the tail end of this episode out here with the round number 2 and Shady. Lap. He is just really close out there with the Shady. Oh wow! And Shady just completed in front of him. What an amazing, amazing drop! And we loved seeing both these pilots in action. Meanwhile, Nishant and Logic. This is the competition going on between these two pilots. Nishant at spot number 4. So let's cover Logic from our point of view. Logic, who was actually leading in the previous round, I believe, and he has done pretty well. I mean, what a champion this has been. Also, all these pilots, fantastic pilots. So uh, so round number, I believe. Let me check what's happening. Round number 2 is over now. The round number 3. Let's go, guys. Whenever you guys are ready, let's go. Let's go with round number 3, guys. Round of less than 5. Here we go. Again, the side view will try to cover from the angle of Logic. And Logic is the last one to take off, but he'll be climbing ground. So let's switch our attention now to Shady and Devnath. Again, that competition between them. I mean, Devnath always takes a little bit behind Shady. He sticks behind his rear view mirror, Devnath, and Devnath then comes back from his blind spot of Shady, and Shady never knows when Devnath can pick up from behind. So that's his style of competing. Allows Shady to gain a little bit of an edge, a couple gates in front of him, and then makes that Tiger's attack like a pro. Devnath is so good. He's now head on head with Shady. He might cover great grounds out here as Shady is trying to maintain his lead desperately out there. Look at that. Devnath is right behind him, and Devnath looking so good now into the towers, both of them. Trying to cover all the camera angles. This is going to be a fantastic round. What a ferry wheel out there by Shady. Just a couple gates away, and Devnath is right behind him. What a fantastic competition. Wow. And it's going to be, oh, and Devnath snagged in a little bit. He's about 3 gates away. He might cover in a little bit. Now he's about 1 gate away. Shady has to be really on the edge of his throne out here with his controller. He has to do everything to stop Devnath because Devnath is going to capture this competition. If he snags even a little bit on any gate, Devnath looks like very, very competitive. Devnath can come back anytime. He's about just 1 gate away. Wow, it's so thrilling and exciting. Guys, be on the edge of your seats. This is turning out to be one hell of a ride. They are going to try to cover each other right till the very lap end. This is going to be such a crucial lap for both Team Berettas and Team Atomic. And look at that, Devnath and Shady again coming back. Devnath is, look at that, 2 gates away. And Shady taking the final call out there is about we just missed Devnath, but nevertheless, amazing. I'm just thrilled to see these two pilots in action. As always, they have really thrilled us all the way from episode number 1 to episode number 9, season number 1. And Logic from Aurangabad, he also completes. Nishant completes at spot number 4 anytime, and that's the leaderboard. Look at that Shady 157. What a player. Devnath about 500 milliseconds away again. That gap was so close. Half a second is not even like a blink of an eye. And then Shady took that lead. Logic completing well behind Devnath, and Nishant behind Logic. And then the last round coming up for you. This is going to be the absolute decider. Whenever the guys are ready, we fly. Stay tuned to this final race of this episode. This is going to bring about all the competition for you. Let's chase Shady and Logic once again. Shady and Devnath, this time it is. Look at that. Wow. What an amazing closeness here is Shady and Devnath. And Shady in that red trail, once again to remind you, and Devnath in that blue trail. And Devnath and Shady and Devnath has taken the lead at this point. Let's not get too exciting at this point because this can be anybody's game and anybody can win this episode and win that crucial 3 points for their team. It's not just 1 point, it's those 3 points, three big points can turn around anything in this finals. And Atomic and Beretta's team captains head to head right now, both of them in lap number 2, gate number 1, gate number 5 coming in now around the tower in the same gate exactly. It's so close to watch. It is going to be even like half a millisecond away right now. It's they are exactly tuned to each other, both at the same gates. Have you ever seen a competition like this? I mean, tell me, look at that. At the same gates exactly, Shady and Devnath. There is not any difference at all behind them. Lap number 2. And this is going to be the ultimate Jodita Sikandar. And this is going to be either Shady or Devnath coming back at the last millisecond from behind. If they complete right until the edge of lap number 3, this is everybody's game. This is everybody's spotlight right now. Such an amazing thing happening at IDRL episode number 9. This is going to be a decider, both of them at exactly the same gates. Oh my God, they are not even crashing each other. They are in sync with each other exactly at gate number 35. I cannot believe this. What's happening in front of me is absolute magic. And this is going to be the thrill of the last few gates coming up. Can they not really stick it out and Shady completing at the same rate? And oh my God. And they took it. I told you guys that it's going to be less than half a second. And look at that. Devnath really completing 70, 73 milliseconds behind. 73 milliseconds ahead of Shady. What is 73 milliseconds? It's nothing. It's amazing. 73 milliseconds. Just try to count that. Just trying to count that with some kind of an atom. This was an atomic race, truly an atomic race. And Atomic took the lead and they won it. And let's see what the final draw of this competition is. This is going to be so very exciting right now as we jump to our scoreboard, the final one, and calculate the final draw for these pilots. It's given a rush of adrenaline to all of us out here with Shady getting those 3 points. Then we have Logic again for Berettas getting 3, and then Atomic with 1. So, what's the final one? It looks like Team Berettas. Oh wow, still Team Berettas has won it. Team Berettas, congratulations. Point 6 added to them with points 4 going to Atomic and points 3 going to Mac 1 and points 3 again going to Wildcard team. So the next one is going to be an absolute decider. The next episode is going to determine everything. The grand finale coming up next Saturday at 9:30, episode number 10, that will be the end of season 1. Do join us on Facebook and YouTube that you have been tuning into, and do tell your friends and family to really follow all our pages and tune into all our feeds that we are sending. This has been an absolute thriller and hope you have enjoyed it too as much as we have enjoyed it in front of us. And let's see, let's call out finally. Now I remember some of the pilots may have taken, viewers may have taken some of their guesses. So let's see who got it right. And let's try to see from some of the comments. We will announce who has won and guessed it right if they have guessed it right. So it's Rahul Jaiswal who has won it. Rahul Jaiswal, congratulations. You guessed it right for Team Berettas. Rahul Jaiswal, thank you so much for joining us as a viewer. Team Berettas has indeed won it. Do join us next time. And again, thank you once again, pilots and sponsors, One Martian Bay, Velocity, Team Black Sheep, Get robotics.in, ZDR Zine Robotics, and quadcopters.com. If you want to join IDRL, go to droneracingindia.com and sign up as a pilot right now. 2,100 pilots on the platform, and we are growing every day. So it's going to be a thriller next time. Do tune in. And right now, it's all over from the studios in Mumbai out here. Good night and have a sleep well, good dreams. Thank you so much.